Welcome back to the Traffic Syndicate interview series. My name is Mike Filsaime, and on behalf of Jesse Dobeck and Groove, we are proud to bring you our next interview in the series. And that is with Wasim. He's a young man from Jordan. He moved here, left his family behind, and went into the real world, starting with Qualcomm. He brings you on a journey how he became an entrepreneur to help people the way that he was able to get a job with Qualcomm and become a consultant doing $15,000 to $20,000 a month. His only problem, he didn't know how to get leads. He used LinkedIn, and we're going to be talking about his free traffic, LinkedIn strategy, and marketing automation in this episode. You don't want to miss it. Let's get started right now with Wasim Hajjiri. Let's go. All right, Wasim, let's jump right in. Let's talk about your story. What were you doing before you found digital marketing? What was life like for you?
Well, Mike, I do have a long story, but I'm going to give you the short version, short and sweet. So I am originally from Jordan, Amman, the capital. Jordan is known for the Dead Sea. Have you heard of the Dead Sea?
Oh, of course, yes.
And then we have
There's a
Petra.
lot of salt in the Dead Sea, right? The salt
Exactly. And
concentration?
no
Yeah.
fish, zero
Yeah, no
fish.
fish.
That's why it's called the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
And we have Petra, which is one of the seven wonders of the world. They filmed Indiana Jones and Transformers there. You know these movies. You know
Yes, absolutely.
them.
I'm not
So
that old.
that's what it's known for. We have a lot of history in Jordan, and there's the baptism site where Jesus was baptized. So you can imagine how much history there's all
Oh,
around
yeah.
there.
It's one of the centerpieces of the Bible. Absolutely.
Exactly, the Jordan River and
Yeah.
all of that mojo. So that's where I come from, and it's really far away, thousands and thousands of miles away. So, Mike, my journey started 10 years ago, 2013. I moved out here to the US, started a new life. My background is engineering. I did electrical engineering, and that was what I started my professional career in. I used to work at Qualcomm. Are you
Oh,
familiar with
yeah. Yeah,
Qualcomm?
they're big. Qualcomm Stadium is where the San Diego Chargers used to play. Very big in
Exactly.
San Diego.
Yep, the Chargers, and every iPhone and Android phone in the world has a Qualcomm chip.
Yeah.
It's called the Snapdragon. That's what I used to work. I did telecommunications.
Oh, great.
So I'll tell you then, fast forward to you asked me what got me into digital marketing.
Yeah.
So I did my MBA back in 2015. While I was in the MBA program at UCSD here in San Diego, I got my business idea. How can I help people land their dream job? When I moved out here, I had quite an interesting journey of landing a job. As you know, it's tough. And then one day, because I learned how to do it so well and I got the job at Qualcomm, I came up with the idea. And that's where the business began.
So you decided to create some type of information product or home study that was basically, here's how to land your dream job.
It was a Word document, and I still have it. It's on a frame. It was on a Word document and I was at that time targeting engineers. How can I
Yeah.
help engineers land their dream job in the US market? So
So,
as you know, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, tell me about that journey. Like, I pretty much know where these stories go. They have normal things. Usually, a friend says, "Hey, you need to read .com secrets" or something like that. I'm curious what your journey was like because you're going to find some type of YouTube video, and they all roads lead to Rome, as they say. I'm curious what yours
Yeah.
was.
Yes, absolutely. My first journey into the digital marketing world and on, how to generate leads and sales and all of that, it actually started with ClickFunnels. You're
Mhm.
familiar probably with
Of
ClickFunnels a
course, yeah, yeah.
long time
Russell and I are
ago.
good friends.
I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and they mentioned in the seminar ClickFunnels. I was like, what is ClickFunnels? What is that all about? At the beginning, nothing was working. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a one-man shop. It was only me running the business. So I was doing sales, marketing, and the coaching. So what I would do is it's very simple. You tell me, hey Wasim, I wanna land a job. So I'll bring you in. I'll work on your resume, LinkedIn profile, get you connected with hiring managers, and then eventually land the job with the salary that you. So imagine that you still have to go get some clients. you have to sell them, you have to market online or offline, and then you have to do the accounting and all of that. So you put
Mhm.
on a 7 million hats.
Yes.
And as an entrepreneur yourself, you spread yourself too thin at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you don't have a lot of money. You start off, you're like, okay, I'm spending all of my money into the business and I'm not making much. It's
Yeah.
quite rough at the beginning. And I
It's
think
tough.
all of us,
Yeah. Russell and I used to call it a closet warrior. You'd open up the closet and there was your business, the computer, everything. And you're running every role in the company out of there.
yeah, and even him, Russell, he always talks about his story, how he started, and he was in his little office at
Mm.
home, didn't know what the heck he was doing.
Yeah.
And look at where he is at now.
Yeah, he and I got started. We met each other in a forum with Mark Joyner. We both bought this. Mark Joyner was selling all of his software and all of the
Wow.
code. And Russell and I were the two most successful people ever to come out of that, obviously. And he
Wow.
did something. His email address was money, the number four, money4college at gmail.com because all he wanted was a little extra money to help him pay for college.
To go to college. Did
Yeah.
you go to college, Mike?
I never graduated college. I went for 2.5 years. I went to New York Institute of Technology. I studied computer science and business administration. And
Wow.
then I got engaged. I had to quit my part-time job. I had to go full-time, and I went into the car business for 14 years and ended up running some of the largest
14
car dealerships.
years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I got out in October. I got out in, I started online in October of 2002, and within very, very quickly, I was fortunate. I did very well with it. And August 5th of 2004, August 5th of 2005 or 2004, August 5th of 2004, I
Wow.
quit that job and went full time.
Full time. So you hustled a lot. You know
Oh
how it
yeah,
is.
I'm famous for having black lines under my eyes. Back then, it looked like war paint. I was getting 3 hours sleep a day, but all I cared about was getting this online business stuff to work.
Yeah, and there's so many advantages of having an online business, especially me. If I want to go back to Jordan, visit my family, I got my laptop with me, and all I need is an internet connection, and I'm good to go. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it.
So I'm going to fast forward here.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure this out. You're wearing many different hats.
Yes.
You're back then, you're nowhere near the entrepreneur you were today. Usually there's that tipping point or that hockey stick point, the aha moment, the eureka moment. You read something in a book, you meet somebody in an event. What was it for you that hit the switch where you started seeing some success?
Perfect. The aha moment was Jesse Dovick. That was my aha moment. I really got into LinkedIn at that time in the early days, 5, 6, 7 years ago or so. LinkedIn was starting to boom. And then this guy, Jesse, reaches out to me on LinkedIn. Hey, Wasim, I see that you are a career coach. I would love to help you with your marketing. I was like, who is this guy? Where did he find me? Yeah. So I hopped on a call with him, and that was the pivoting moment in my professional career. Jesse was like, hey, Wasim, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing sales, marketing, all of these different hats, and I really need some more leads. I'm struggling. Our revenues are not doing well at all. And he's like, yep, I have the magic key for you, the magic formula. That is when Jesse and his team at that time came in and introduced me to the world of automation. I had no idea about all of it. So LinkedIn automation and getting out all of these CRMs and different softwares and like the traffic syndicate pretty much. But this is kind of go high level. But that was
Mhm.
my starting point.
Yeah,
You
there's
see,
there's
yeah,
there's ClickFunnels, there's Samcart, there's Kajabi, there's Infusionsoft, there's High Level, there's Groove. So he was letting you know that there were tools that could help you to basically automate your funnel marketing and then find traffic for it.
exactly. Because at that time I did have a website, but there was zero traffic. I had to send people manually to my website. You know how exhausting that is.
Yeah.
So Jesse was like, let's get all of that connected to your website and your LinkedIn because my target market is all LinkedIn.
You can find
Everyone
them
who's
on
looking,
LinkedIn, certainly. Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
who's
That's
looking for a job, it's right there. And it was almost built for what I do. So
yeah.
Jesse really helped me master LinkedIn, build all of these automations. Yeah.
And the proof was in the pudding was he found you on LinkedIn. He was
Yes, he
practicing what he
literally
preached.
did. He
Yeah,
found me right there.
yeah,
And his message was great because it was very organic, nothing too crazy. And he was always natural, very organic. And he taught me all about also organic marketing. And at that
yeah.
time,
He's
it
very
was big.
sincere. Jesse is the opposite of hype. I could almost argue sometimes. Like I've known Jesse now for a little while, and he's such a rock star. When I met him, he didn't come across that way. Very, very humble, very low key. And then obviously I did some background checking on him, and it seems he knows everybody in the industry, and everybody talks so highly about him. And he's wicked smart, and he surrounds himself with really smart traffic people. So, what was it? Um, what did you implement that started showing results for you?
Okay, so at that time, we installed our first CRM. So, how to manage all of the leads, because you're talking to so many different people on LinkedIn, a lot of conversations, you need to manage that. And when do you follow up, right? Like this guy didn't answer. When do I follow up with him? So he
Yeah,
got me set up
when are you
with
being a pest, or or what's the nuance for follow up exactly without being a pest?
nuance. So this is how it is. First of all, is there interest? I'm talking to you, Mike. First of all, are you interested? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for what I offer?
Am I
That's the
qualified? Yeah, can
Do
I
I
pay?
qualify? You're like just like the Wolf of Wall Street. You remember that? Hey, sell me this pen.
Yeah.
What is that all about? He said one word: supply and demand. Are
Mhm.
you looking for a pen?
Yeah.
What pen are you using right now? What are your goals? What are your pain points? So that's what he helped me also as well, Jesse, my messaging. What do I send for initial message? What do I
Mhm.
send for a follow up? And how can I get them on the phone as fast as possible?
A pipeline to the pitch, to the offer. Yeah.
Exactly, because you need a system. You can't just keep winging it. That's what I was doing before, trying different messages here and there. Message one random message. Is going to be a long one? Is it going to be a short one? So he helped me really hone down my messaging.
And so when you put this into motion, talk to me about what it was like when the first one worked. Like, and I'm smiling because I remember that day when I had to go over to my wife and be like, just just made a sale.
I
And
know.
it's like
It's the
this is
best feeling
real.
in the world, especially when you're at that point. And I think all entrepreneurs, when all of the doors are closed and the debt is piling up, your credit cards are maxed out, and you're going through the motions of it. And then there comes this guy, Jesse, almost like an angel from heaven. And he's like, here is the light. Let me give you the torch and show you the way. So we moved from, I was enrolling maybe one or two clients per month
Per
to
month.
anywhere between 5 to 8, 5 to 10, somewhere there. So almost 2x, 3x.
Yeah. So if you went from 1.5 to 7.5, so that's about 4x to 5x.
About 4 to 5x,
Yeah.
literally. And it's not, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a magic pill overnight success. No. Jesse was really working with me day in and day out, even through the ups and downs until the system was solidified and the base was set up. But he really helped me do that.
Yeah,
And when
because
the base,
getting
yeah,
the lead is one thing, closing the lead is another. Then you as an entrepreneur, you have to learn the onboarding process and
yes,
what it's like to deal with a client that you don't want to work with, and then you identify this is the perfect client. I need more like this customer and not this customer. Because obviously when you get in coaching and consulting, you take what you can because it pays the bills, but there are sometimes you look at who your 330 call is and you're like, "Oh my god, this guy." And then there's another one you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to talk to this person. He does everything I say." So you start figuring out that process to find more of the ideal client.
you start to become more selective. Exactly. And as we progressed, Jesse and I, we also figured out how can I qualify these leads in a better way. So he helped
Right.
me figure. Yeah, we
Pre-qualify
formulated a
them
questionnaire.
sometimes before they even get on the call. Let them deselect themselves, which is good because the last thing you want to do. Sometimes you have a simple question that says, "Hey, would you be able to invest a small amount? If they say no, then it doesn't matter if they check every single box. If they're not in the position to buy, that's one of the most painful things for both people.
Exactly. And it's going to be a waste of time for both of you, especially if you spend 45 minutes on the call and they're like, oh, no, I just wanted to learn more or get some information from you. I'm like, nope, I don't want to deal with any of those people. We formulated the questionnaire. We tied it back to the website. So now all of the traffic coming from LinkedIn to the website, they had to fill out a questionnaire before. And I would look at the questionnaire and then I was like, okay, this guy is worth my time. So I'm going to talk to him. And that is also a game changer, as you know, especially when you have volume coming.
Yeah. So what is the business like today? What does your company look like today?
So let's fast forward, right? So I started with Jesse. We built out the LinkedIn profile. So I had one account on LinkedIn and we scaled to 5 accounts throughout the journey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And what's
Now,
the point for
yeah.
people at home thinking, why can't you just use one? What is the advantage that you get by having multiple LinkedIn accounts?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of LinkedIn restrictions. You can only do so much with one account. You can only connect with X amount of people before.
There's
Yeah,
only so much automation, so many connections. So they're going to put a stopgap into the market that you're trying to reach. And by having more accounts, you can scale the number of accounts to the amount that you can handle phone calls and clients.
exactly. And having multiple accounts, if one of them is not performing very well, you have a backup. If 2 are not performing very well, okay, I have 3 others. And then you start to use the formula for, okay, this is number 1, this is my best performing account. Now you mimic and you go to the other accounts. It's a game changer.
Yeah. Are you doing mostly natural, organic with some automation on LinkedIn? It finds somebody, it sends a message, or are you also doing some paid advertising as well on LinkedIn?
Okay, so 2 parts for that. Okay, so Jesse actually helped me in 2 parts in the business, the beginning stages, and then later on when I had a team and everything was solidified, he came in and helped me, or like, how can we scale now, and how can we get some sustainable growth? So at the beginning, as I mentioned, 1 account, then 5 accounts. Then he's like, okay, you need a software to have all of your accounts connected, and you need to automate more on the follow-ups, and then even getting these text message and the reminders and the
Yes.
emails, so that more people will show up. And slowly but surely, that's what we started to build. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that allows the automated follow-up sequence to go through text message, email, and if they respond, you go here. If they don't, you build out one of those nice automation sequences. So let me ask you this: what does an average month look like for you in revenue, and how many people do you have working with you, little contractors, whatever it might be? What does your team look like?
So right now, revenue wise, we do anywhere between 15 to 20,000 a month, revenue
Amazing.
wise. And you mentioned the average cost for a
And do
client.
you have any employees, or is it just you and a couple of little people that you outsource some work to? What does your team look like?
So when I started as a one-man shop, now I have 5 employees. I have my salespeople. I have my marketing rep.
And your
I have
salespeople don't cost you anything. They're pay on performance, right?
commission.
So yeah, they don't produce, they don't eat, they make you a lot of money, they make a lot of money. So that's not a payroll expense to you every week.
Exactly. Especially, at the beginning, again, you want to save as much cost as possible. So you
You
need
do it
people to
yourself.
handle your sales.
Yeah.
So you start out at a commission. I started them at 10%, and then slowly but surely go up to 15, 20% based on
Yeah.
performance. That way it's a win-win for both of us. And then I also, you know, Jesse told me you need to also outsource. You can't hire everyone from the US. That's
Mm.
crazy expensive.
Oh,
That's too
no,
much.
not at these rates. Yeah.
No way. And then you have, full-time benefits and the W-2 and all of that, payroll, etc. So I looked for people from all around the world. Now, I worked with different people until I found the right person. As an example, my marketing rep, she lives in the Philippines, but she operates at, US hours, and she's amazing. She does so well, and then, the pay makes sense for the business. I'm not, yeah.
No, and it makes sense for them too. The cost of living in different parts of the world is better, so it's
Yes.
a win-win. They get to take care of themselves, and you get to help them, and they help you. So
And you have it's crazy, Mike, how even let's say $500 to $1,000 a month, how big it goes in their world over there in the Philippines or as in India or let's say Guatemala or all of the different countries, but it goes a long way there. So they're happy, like you said, they're living a good life. They have a house, a mortgage with that, 1,000, 2,000 bucks or whatever, in that range.
so let's talk about you. Last question I have for you here, or two more questions, but the first of the two is I haven't said this to anybody else that I spoke to yet because we tend to take this for granted. Everybody else that I spoke to has been born here in America. And so we sort of, inherit the American dream. We get it through our parents and things like that. What has it been like for you to experience the American dream? And do you have family back in Jordan that looks back at you and like, he went there with nothing, and the typical awesome immigrant story. They come here with nothing, like my dad and my mom. They came here from Haiti with nothing.
Wow.
What what's it like for you, and how does your family, anybody back home, look at you?
Oh, wow. It has been an absolute roller coaster ride. So my journey, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, started a decade ago in the US, 2013. That's when I left my life there in Jordan, my family, my friends, and I came here to start fresh. Everything you hear about on the TV and the movies, it's all true, the American
Mhm.
dream. But you still have to work hard because there's a lot of competition. But the opportunities, Mike, are truly everywhere. You want to write a book, and I wrote two books. I have two books as well. These are my books. There we go.
Congratulations, fulfilled
So this first one
the
is about
dream.
my journey of moving from Jordan to the US. It's called The Relentless Pursuit of Turning Dreams into Reality. All the ups and downs. I had to share it with the world.
Yeah,
I felt that this might inspire someone someday. And then my second book is based on my career coaching work, Fulfilled: How to Land a Job That Aligns with Your Service. And both of these are on
congratulations.
Amazon and they hit the bestseller list. I'm very grateful for that. So the American dream is alive, the American dream is real, and people are so kind. Just reaching out and asking for help. Wow. I mean, Jesse alone, Jesse is like, hey, let me introduce you to this guy. Let me introduce you to that guy. And he worked with the movie Coach Carter, the
Yeah, Coach
basketball
Carter.
movie.
Yep.
And he worked with the actual guy, the Coach Carter,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
basketball coach. And he's like, talk to him, talk to that. He opened up a whole door of opportunities for me. So my family and you, to the second part of your question, at the beginning, and a lot of them were, Wasim, how are you going to do this? You started fresh, you don't have connections there, what are you going
And
to
you
do?
went to
I'm like,
San Diego, which is not a cheap city. Not a
not a
cheap
cheap
city at
city
all.
at
One of the
all,
most
as you
expensive in
know.
the country.
Exactly. But all I can tell you is, reaching out for help, that has helped me more than you can imagine. Every time I would struggle with something, I would go and ask for help. Who's the best at this? Let me learn. Let me learn from them. Let me go under their wing, and they would help. Because successful people are always willing to help. And you've worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, and you know what that is all about.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a reason. I said this in one other interview. There's a reason why that word right behind me there says syndicate,
Yes.
because this is an homage to the Syndicate. Um, People can Google it. They can Google the Syndicate, Frank Kern, Mike Filsaime, things like that. I
Yes.
was part of a group of 16 or so individuals. We were an underground, quote unquote, secret society that started around 2007.
Wow.
It was myself and Frank Kern and Andy Jenkins and Jeff Walker, who did Product Launch Formula, Eben Pagan, Jeff Johnson, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, John Reese, who did the first $1 million day. And we were a mastermind that was sharing information that nobody
Wow.
else had. We were the 16 most successful digital marketers. We planned our launches, we supported our launches, and then we shared information about what worked and what tanked and what didn't work. And we rose through that. as being a member of the syndicate. I was able to ask for help and get it. And that's why I wanted to name this the Traffic Syndicate, because we wanted to create something like that focused around paid traffic, organic traffic, natural traffic, social media traffic, any way that you could get a visitor through LinkedIn, through natural resources. We want to start teaching those methods and give templates. So my final question for you, Wasim, is what would you tell someone, knowing what you know about Jesse, and now myself, and we're talking here, what would you tell them? There's a button underneath this video. All they need to do is register for a free training web class that's going to actually talk about traffic methods. If you felt, if this getting on this call was a turning point for that person, if I asked you, what was that eureka aha moment? What would you tell that person if they were about to walk off this page and not register?
I would tell that person, okay, heart to heart, anyone watching this recording, anyone looking, thinking about joining, this is an investment in yourself, not in the business. All wonderful people, Mike, Jesse, Frank Kern, all of these guys have been in the game for 20, 30 years. So instead of you trying to figure it out, failing, struggling, this is the shortcut. Because marketing is everything. That's what builds a business. Number one is marketing and sales. Instead of struggling and going out there, and I know there's so much information out there, it's overwhelming about marketing, organic, paid, and all of that. These guys will wrap it up in a 1, 2, 3 simple step-by-step strategy. So this is an investment for yourself, for your business, and then in the end, for your family and your future. Because I think we've all been there, as I mentioned in my journey, the struggles of it. And it is the best feeling to know that you are being helped by a group of experts who not only care just about money. Money is, all of these guys don't care about money. They have money. They care about helping you. And that's what I got from Jesse day one. Like you said, Mike, he is heart to heart, organic. And he gave me everything, every single possible resource. And I know this is even going to be better because he teamed up with you. He teamed up with all of these very, very successful people to give you, this type of program. So I would say absolutely do it. Save yourself the heartache, save yourself the failure, and save yourself investing so much money in so many different resources where you can come and find everything you need in this one.
Thank you very much, Wasim, for taking the time to do this interview and being part of the Traffic Syndicate interview series. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and I appreciate your time and your insight. Thank you.
Wow, what an exciting interview with Wasim Hajjiri. So where do we go from here? What do you do next? Well, right underneath this video is a button to register for a free training web class that I'm going to be doing with Jesse Dobek. You don't want to miss it, and you'll also be able to learn more about the Traffic Syndicate. All of the dates and times are below. Click the button, it'll open up a pop-up for you to register for this webinar. And as a free gift, we're going to give you some more hidden bonus interviews just like this. You don't want to miss it. So you have a choice. You can close that tab. Some of you might have done that already. Or you can say, I think my life is about to change from a free training web class. So all you need to do is click that button, register, and make sure to attend. We'll see you on the live training web class.